Brian Baldinger joining us. Baldy's breakdowns. Johnny Venerable Bo Brock, PHNX Cardinals. Baldy, Arizona Cardinals take one step forward against LA and then seemingly one step back against the Detroit Lions. What were your overall takeaways from a game that was very physical, but at the end of the day, the Arizona Cardinals come up short?
No, they didn't make enough plays. I mean, that's the short answer. It was a heck of a game, honestly. I mean, the hook and lateral, right there at the end of the half. Look, it was well-executed play. It's the only time it's been, you see it twice a year. They executed it perfectly. Give them credit. They got the touchdown before the half. They shut them out in the second half. They got an interception second half. They stopped them on 4 downs. They did a lot of great things defensively in the second half. They just couldn't make enough plays offensively. I thought the running game struggled quite a bit. James Conner didn't look like he did the first 2 weeks. In the run game, look, they're on their, I don't know, are they on their 4th right tackle right now? You're going down the ranks pretty good right there. I'm not making excuses right here, but Kelvin's out, Jonah's out, Barton goes down. I mean, they just, it's hard when you don't know who your right tackle is going to be in the run game somewhat, but still, I mean, I thought they could run the ball a little bit better than what they showed.
Let's get more into this offense, mainly the rapport between the quarterback and his top receiver and Marvin Harrison Jr. 11 targets, 5 receptions, including Marvin's 3rd touchdown of the season. Nice little pitch and catch there. But what do you see as far as, because what I'm hearing from Marv and Kyler Murray post-practice today is they feel like they're inches away. Are you seeing the same thing between this duo?
Well, I think they're seeing the same thing. I think that some of these routes are choice routes, they're option routes. It depends on where the corner is or the safety as to whether you're going to keep going on the go route or you're going to convert it to a back shoulder fade. I mean, those are a feel. It takes time. I think they want to make it happen. I mean, we went from, one catch and 4 targets to week 1 to 2 touchdowns to now a touchdown against double coverage. I mean, we're seeing some progress here, but I think some of these deep routes, like, first of all, they're a little bit low percentage, to be honest with you. I mean, you want to win your share of jump balls, but I think sometimes you can get a little greedy. I think they got a little greedy in trying to go and make these things work and force these things against pretty good coverage and pretty good corners. So I think there's a balance there. I mean, you certainly want to feed the machine. There's no doubt. But I think they could have done more from a scheme standpoint to get Marvin loose and to get him free. Whether it's bunch formations or whether it's picks or rubs, I just think there was a couple things they could have done to get him freed up more than what we saw.
Cardinals play 3 teams in 3 weeks. A lot of people figure are going to be in the mix all season long. And, I look at this game against Washington, and this is a game you should take care of business if you're JG and Kyler Murray. Speaking of JG, I think the Cardinals defense, to me, is the biggest surprise of this young season for this team. Giving up 15 points per game in the last 2 games, Baldy, Zaven Collins, Dennis Gardeck. What has the tape shown you about a unit that, nationally doesn't get any run? They don't have a bunch of household names, yet schematically and tackling-wise, incredibly sound, especially second half against Detroit.
And losing players along the way. To lose Justin Jones in that game in the first half, to lose Darius to start the season. I mean, they're thin bodies up front, but they play at multiple fronts. I mean, yes, Detroit got some runs. They're a very good offense line. Those are 2 good backs. They literally carried David Montgomery for one of those scores, it looked like. I mean, they're good backs. They're going to get some yards, but they didn't give up any big plays. On the back end, they really didn't get beat. They got the hook and lateral, but Jameson Williams didn't hurt him. Amon-Ra Brown didn't hurt him. Sam Laporta did. I mean, these are guys that hurt teams. And look, I mean, Jared Goff, he didn't look great to me, and so I thought they were very disruptive. I think they changed their fronts and what they do. They play a totally different defense against, last week against the Lions than they played the week before against the Rams. So they're giving you a lot to look at. They're game planning week to week. And they're asking these guys, Dante Stills, they're asking these guys, LJ Collier, to come in there and play meaningful snaps. And, they haven't really been in that position in a long time.
When you talk about the run game with James Conner having a down performance against a very good run defense in the Detroit Lions, but was it just you got to tip your cap? They just were on it that side of the ball, or the Arizona Cardinals have been a little quieter than I think a lot of people expected as far as running the football. What do you see, and what's the film tell you as far as them just kind of establishing the run in 2024?
They're a big power run football team. They like to run gut and get big guys on little guys on the edge. Detroit, very, very talented. When Davenport's out there on one side and, you've got, the best pass rusher right now in the league on the other side, those are big guys. They're hard. If you want to try to get outside them, those are hard guys to crack. Like, you're just not going to have any luck doing it. They're too good at it, and they're too big. So it kind of negates a little bit some of the things that they like to do. They'd love to get Paris out there on the run. They'd love to get Froholt, on some of these guts and pulls. They're good at it. But Detroit kind of, just by their size alone, Hutch and, Davenport, I mean, those are big men that are hard to basically pin and to pull. And so it kind of negates some of that success that they've had in previous weeks in some of those kind of runs.
Looking ahead to this weekend, Baldy, Jayden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury return to Arizona. Who needs to step up for this team to get a dub? We watched them have success 2 weeks ago against LA, take a step back against Detroit. Do you feel like this Arizona Cardinal team can take advantage of maybe a young, impressionable Washington team coming off a big emotional win? Or are you buying this Washington team all year long?
I'm buying the offense. I'm not buying the defense at all. The defense, they've given up 9 touchdown passes in 3 games. They gave up the league's most last year. They gave up 39 last year. They're on pace to blow that away. They don't have much pass rush. It's on the offense this week. You got to put up 24, 30 points. The fact is, this is unbelievable. And I still don't believe this, but it's true. 2 games in a row now against the Giants and then against Cincinnati, they have scored on every drive. They scored 7 straight drives against Giants. Now, they kicked 7 field goals. So they scored on 7 straight drives. They scored on every drive against the Bengals. Cliff is doing a great job with Jayden. And it is, the guy's a good student. He's a phenomenal athlete. The deep ball down the field was an absolute dime. But he's making the right decisions. His decision-making is elite. They can run the ball pretty good, although, it looks like Austin Eckler is going to be out. That hurts him. He's the returner as well. He's an excellent kickoff returner. He started off the third quarter with a 62-yarder the other day, gave him excellent field position. But this, to me, is on Arizona's offense. They have to show up, and they've got to control this. They got to keep Jayden off the field. Right now, Cliff and Jayden are clicking, and it's all working. But honestly, 28, 30 points is certainly reasonable against this defense. And if they do that, I think they can win. But they're going to have to execute offensively, because this is not a good defense, and that is not a good secondary. And so you've got to attack this team.
We certainly saw some good offensive football under Cliff. I don't think we never saw a run like this, Baldy, in a 2-game stretch under Kingsbury. As far as the Arizona Cardinals and maybe combating that with their defense and going against JD and Kingsbury, what's important for them? What's the key defensively to slow down that duo here in week 4?
Well, this is a little bit old school. I don't know how Jonathan Gannon, and I'm going to sugarcoat this a little bit. But, Jayden Daniels is a phenomenal athlete. He won the Heisman. He's a great runner. These guys that are running, you got to kind of make them pay. You're going to put them in a read option, have somebody hit the quarterback and make sure they hit him, and have somebody, on the running back. Assignment football is important when they run their read options with Brian Robinson and whoever is going to be a backup this week. You got to make Jayden feel your punch. And I don't think he's felt enough of that. He's just been too freewheeling for me. And people have said it, Kyler, was a little bit like that with, and it ended up hurting him, and he ended up getting hurt. These guys that want to run through these freeways with these monsters out there, they're runners. Hit him like a running back. They get protection, but if he's not sliding, then you got to make him pay a little bit. And then you gotta dirty it up a little bit. I think he's had way too much protection. I think their offensive line, look, Wiley and Allegretti, they come from Kansas City, but Lucas, some of these guys, they're not. I mean, they're backup borderline starters. Like, make them pay. Whether it's Gardeck or Xavier or somebody, like you got to hit them up a little bit in the pass rush and really speed the process up.
You mentioned buying Baldy, the Washington offense early on this season. We'll get you out of here on this. Give me a team or maybe a unit or a quarterback that you're not buying early on that maybe is a little bit fool's gold around the NFL 3 weeks in.
Well, I mean, I'll give you an opposite. Like, I think Joe Burrow is a great player, and he put up 33 the other night. Probably could have put up 40. Like, they're 0-3. The defense is just ragged right now. They got no defensive tackles that can play. They're all hurt. So, like, the offense has to carry. But a team that's a little bit of fool's gold right now, I guess, I think Seattle is a quality team. They're undefeated. They won an overtime game against New England. I don't think they're a great team. Like, Mike McDonald's doing a good job. Defensively, it says that they're playing great defense. I'd like to see him get tested by a good offense right now and see what happens.
Make sure you check out his work, the NFL Network. Of course, follow him on Twitter at Baldy NFL. Check out those great hoodies as well. Right? Your website, Baldy's Breakdowns? Those things are legit.
Baldy'sBreakdowns.com and start ordering up that merchandise. The holiday season's coming up. Yeah, once you put this on, you don't want to take it off. That's
yeah. I got to get one for hoodie season here in AZ. Unfortunately, that's maybe a month or two away. Hey, but you're on the call this week. Gang Green, it's the Bo Show, and Aaron Rodgers, excited to hear what that goes down in that game. And, of course, we always love to see your work, NFL Network, and the All-City NFL analyst. Brian Baldinger, thanks, man. Catch up next week.
Yep, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you next week. You bet.
We all silly like the mayor.